Let's quickly talk about looksmaxing. I'm a little bit worried about this next generation. I feel like they've gone in too deep. They're very distracted by it, and in my opinion, if you put all of your eggs in one basket, you're going to lose that basket. Those eggs are going to get smashed. It's not a good strategy. Look, is it useful? I'm currently sat here getting a tan, training in the gym, trying to make myself look better. Yeah, it's a good strategy, but it's taking things to the nth degree. That's what's worrying. Like, am I saying that you shouldn't make yourself look better? Not at all. I've been promoting you guys to look better for years. I was the first person to get Mike Mew on a podcast and start talking about looksmaxing and all this stuff. Obviously, we called it orthotropics back then, or how to become a better looking man. People have just got terms for things now, so it changes things. But it's the way that this generation has taken it to the nth degree. An nth degree means taking it too far, like taking something to an extreme. And extremities is what we have now, and you guys are going against the straight 7 system. And I'll give you some examples, and this isn't for me to be shitting on these guys because I don't control the world. Everyone can do whatever they want to do. But you look at, for example, Larry Wheels, Alex Hormozy, and Chris Bumstead. They can't run. And what I mean by they can't run is they can't jog. Jogging is such a basic human need. The ability to just be able to jog 10, 20 meters, and they can't do it. They physically cannot jog because they've taken so many steroids and they've lifted so many heavy weights and they've focused so much on one thing that they can't do anything else. I think taking something to the nth degree and going as far as you can is one of the worst strategies that you can do. Being a straight 7 across the board, it makes you hard to hit. And for new people watching this that aren't familiar with the straight 7 system, it's basically an idea that I created years ago, which was around what's the point in being a 10 in some areas and a 2 in other areas. For example, you could have the best body in the world, but you live at home with your mum and you live in the basement. Or you could be a billionaire, but you're fat. What's the point in being an in-shape millionaire if you stink and you don't shower and you don't wear deodorant? Do you see what I mean? Like, it's better to be strong across the board collectively than to be a 10 in one area and a 2 in another area, because it just lets you down so much. Look, I know what people have done. I get where the extremities have come from. These young guys have gone, okay, what's the most effective thing that has the biggest ripple effect on my life? I think they call it keystoning. Keystoning in business is like when you do one thing that has a ripple effect on everything else that you do and allows all those things to move forward at a much more accelerated rate by just focusing on the one thing, like the same book as Gary Keller that I always promote to you guys. It's something that I live by. But when it comes to your personal growth, having a guy like that clavicular guy taking, I don't know if he's doing this, but people have said he's microdosing meth, taking steroids, and he's there with a hammer like hitting his face. It's great for content and it goes viral. I do get it, guys. I'm not getting that old yet where I don't understand this sort of stuff, but it's taking something to the nth degree, and he's lucky because he's making a ton of money off it. But a lot of you guys are going to be sat at home, and it's dangerous, like taking steroids at a young age. I don't know if he is microdosing crystal meth, but if he is, that's super dangerous. It's so silly to do. Or to have some lean cheekbones and 10% body fat. It's a bit extreme because you're going to be chasing women and you're going to have nothing else in play in your life. And I worry for this current generation because you guys look at somebody like me, bold guy, 33 years old, and you think, oh, shut up, old man, you don't get it. No, I really do get it. You're no different than what we were. We did the same thing. You know, we used to go and get like fucking fake tans and shit. We used to sit under the sunbeds because Geordie Shore was doing it. We used to go and like buy certain t-shirts because our favourite person was wearing it in Geordie Shore, or one of these shows that you watch on TV like Only Way is Essex. It's no different, it's just different role models. It's exactly the same, but I'm telling you from experience, it's not a waste of your life, but it's a waste of your life once you accomplish it. So it's not a waste of your life in terms of, is getting women, is being more attractive, is giving yourself a mini male advantage, as I've described it before, is that a negative to your life? Of course not. It makes your life easier. It allows women to come to you. It allows more opportunities to come to you. It makes your life better. But what you guys don't understand, and I do at 33, is that you get to an elite level where you're in shape, you're handsome, you have, you know, whatever, and you start attracting women. You sleep around a bit, you have a few good nights, you know, maybe like 5 women, 10 women, 20 women in the space of whatever. And then by the end of it, you realize this is such a lost purpose. This is such an empty void. I watched this thing the other day on, you guys have probably seen it, the Manosphere documentary on Netflix with Louis Theroux. And first and foremost, I actually thought that like every guy on that, apart from Sneeko, is a lost soul. I actually think they're all a little bit, they're not wired up right. You know, for Justin to be sat there when he pulled up in his car and was like, this isn't success, by the way. It's like, mate, just relax, like stop being insecure. Like, no, like people aren't judging you, it's fine. I just find everyone a little bit weird in the industry. They're not real humans. But I thought Sneeko was okay. But they asked HS, Tiki Toki, they were on about women that he would like. And he was like, everyone wants a beautiful woman with nice tits and nice ass and all this stuff. And you just think, if you're not grown out of that yet, Like, yeah, everyone wants an attractive partner, but you could see Louis was sat there and he was like, well, it becomes more about like personality, who the person is and stuff like that. And he's right, because I'm 33 and that's the way I think about it. Now, do I have an attractive partner? Yeah. If she was old and grey, would I still want her? Yeah, because I like who she is as a person. This is one thing you guys will realise, and it reminds me of Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey was like, I want everyone to become wildly successful and accomplish all their dreams, because then they will understand that that didn't make them happy. I want every single one of you to looksmax yourself to the absolute oblivion. Sleep with some, as you call them, quote unquote, Stacys, and then realise this is really hollow.
Am I dreaming? No, I'm living in my dream.
One of the biggest issues, and this I don't think this has been discussed, because pretty much everybody in the content world is from the same sort of 3 to 4 places. What it's doing is it's creating an echo chamber, like a village effect, where if everyone's from the same sort of places and they've got the same sort of lifestyles, they're going to have the same viewpoints on the world. But one thing I want you guys to remember is that Miami, Bali, Dubai, and Marbella is not the whole world. I know that sounds crazy in today's society, but that is not the whole world. And I think everyone's kind of got this impression that that's where the world exists, because we've got all these guys creating content talking about like, here's what you need to do, like looksmaxing is the only thing you need to do, being in shape is the best strategy that you could possibly have, making money, being in shape, you don't need anything else. And you're like, yeah, in those 4 places. Oh, women these days, none of them are wife material, you might as well just sleep around, have fun, enjoy yourself, blah blah blah. Yeah, in those 4 places. And this is the problem, is that everybody creating content today, everybody that is in the online space, lives in one of those 4 spaces. So then you end up having this echo chamber of people who are all saying the same ideas, who aren't lying to you, it's not their fault, they're just a certain type of person that wants to live in one of those 4 places. And when they're in those sort of places, they attract women and other people that want to be in those sort of places. So then, like I said, it creates an echo chamber of everyone having the same viewpoint. You know, if you're a guy, you might move out to Bali because you have no interest in a relationship and you want to sleep around. Or every woman that's moved there is in the same boat, where they want to move to Bali, they've just gone through a breakup and they want to just go out there, get in shape, have 2 years fucking around and sleeping around. And this is the information that you're getting. You're getting a guy who's making a video on how bad women have become, and he lives in Miami. And it's like, that's not the same as the real world. That's not the same as around about 6.8 billion people, or like 6.9 billion people do not live in those regions of the world, probably more. It's not real. Like, it's a complete echo chamber. It's a complete bubble of people who want to live a certain lifestyle. And if you go through the quote unquote manosphere and you go through every single guy that's in this industry, around about 9 out of 10 of them have been on a reality TV show. So that tells you that they all have narcissistic tendencies where they want to be famous, they want to be seen on camera, they want to do something like that. That attracts a certain type of person to certain types of areas. Now look, I'm a fan of Bali. I thought it was pretty cool. I'm a fan of Marbella. We live pretty close to it here. They're worlds apart in terms of culture, but it's a fun place. I love going down there. But it does attract a certain type of personnel, and if you don't go to the right places, you will bump into them. It's the type of people that you see selling courses, you know, with the blonde girlfriend with the fake boobs and the big lips and stuff like that. Like, it's just a thing. It's not right or wrong. It's just a thing that people do. It's just a life choice. When you have that in Dubai, when you have that in Miami, when you have that in places like Bali, and you have that places like Marbella, and it used to be LA, and then you have those, it's still LA to some extent, then you have people in those regions making content saying this is the problem with modern women. They're talking about women in Miami. When they say, like, these days, nothing else matters but being in shape and being a handsome guy. Like, you should just looksmax to the absolute nth degree. You should take steroids, get in shape, because you have to these days. Everybody's doing it. And it's like, yeah, everyone's doing it in a very, very small micro bubble, in one city, in one country, in one set culture. Well, now if you want to be part of that bubble, then yeah, you have to go and do it. But if you're a real human being living in the real world, there's a lot more to life. The message I'm trying to give you is be very careful who you're getting your information from, because if you're getting your information from a guy who lives in Miami, loves Miami culture, is the type of person who wants to be famous, who wants to be seen on camera, who carries a lot of insecurities from school, and is trying to scratch that itch in a place like Miami or in a place like Dubai, and is like, look at me, look at me, look at me all the time. If he's giving you life advice, it's completely diluted by his worldview. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong, but it just means that it's not the same worldview that you're going to see all around the world in certain places. It's certainly not the same here in Granada. It's certainly not the same when you go over to places like Marrakesh, or let's say if you travel over to somewhere in Italy, you go to Milan, you're having a coffee, like, it's completely different. We've been this year to Porto, Porto, Crete, we went to Bali, we went to Marrakesh, we went to Cap Ferret, we traveled to so many different places around the world. A lot of people don't really give a shit about money. A lot of people don't really give a shit about having the most beautiful or handsome partner or how tall a guy is. They're more interested in like, I have a nice life here. You know, the culture's nice, the people are nice, they're down to earth and stuff like that. That's the majority of the world. Somebody who chooses to live in like Sardinia, Porto Cervo, for example, as baller as it is, probably isn't going to sit there and make content every day because they're not there for that. You know, somebody who chooses to live up in the hills of Granada here and has a nice quiet life isn't going to grab a camera like somebody like me and start filming content. You know, those types of people move to certain areas of the world, which then create micro cultures of certain choices, lifestyles, and habits, and then they go and make videos assuming that that's the whole world. You got to understand it's a very small part of the world, and that's giving you your worldview. So you're going to sit there looksmaxing so that you can get all these girls and whatnot, and then you realize the guy who's doing it is self-obsessed, he is very narcissistic, he got bullied at school, and he's trying to take it out on the world, and he's trying to play a character, and he's doing it for money. Maybe he's even being puppeted to push an agenda. That then leads to you copying it and having a very unfulfilling life because you don't live in a region of the world where that is a currency. Being a handsome guy or a beautiful woman is a strong currency everywhere, but I'd say in somewhere like Dubai, it's a 10 out of 10 currency. Anywhere else in the world, it drops down to like a 7, where people go, yeah, she's beautiful, but she's annoying. Whereas a guy in Dubai would be like, she's beautiful and it makes me look good when I get out of my car. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, I'm just saying it's completely different worldviews and you have to be very careful. So is it good to be in shape? Is it good to make the best of yourself? Is it good to look into fashion and skincare? Yes, because making the best of yourself, as Tom Ford once said, is a show of respect to yourself and those around you. That's all it is. It's you know, the reason that when we go to Cannes, I've told all the guys on the final night, everyone needs to be wearing a suit because there's a big night coming. And little events like that is important. Like, everyone should go out, get a suit, get it tailored, look as good as possible, because it's a show of respect to yourself, those around you, and own them as an organisation. And the region that you're in Cannes, show some respect for the culture there. Let's show some respect to the people in the area and what it represents. Stuff like that is important. But if it becomes your sole focus in life, your personal validation and currency comes from how many Stacys can I fuck in a week, you're lost. I saw a study recently, it said that if your kids have zero desire to be famous, you raise them correctly, because that shows zero insecurity and it shows that they get self-validation from their inner worth. That's massively important. I think by going down the looksmaxing route, you're putting yourself in dangerous territory where it's just setting yourself up for insecurities, it's setting yourself up to become a beauty pageant contestant. It adds value to your life in terms of, wow, these girls are looking at me. You'll start sleeping with a few, you'll get some attention, and you will realize, like every man before me, you'll realize like me, you'll realize like every guy after me, that it's the same shit. It's the same shit. And the best thing you can do is find one super high quality woman and start building something strong for the future. It's the only long-term fulfilling act that you can do. But should you enjoy yourself? Yes. I think I'm making a video on this soon, that from 26 to 30 is one hell of a bracket. It's a very confusing age. Me and the guys were talking about it the other day, and I think you should really use it to your benefit if you can decode what I'm saying there. You should have a bit of fun. But the only thing that's going to hold worth, the only thing you're going to remember on your deathbed, the people that were closest to you, the people that you loved. You're not going to worry about some bimbo that you met, you know, in Bali and you slept with for 2 weeks and she had a great ass and all this stuff, and she was going through a breakup and whatnot and she was wild in bed. You're not going to remember that. You're not going to care. You're going to remember your wife that was there for you when you got diagnosed with a terrible illness, you went into serious crippling debt with the business, and she stuck with you, and you ended up making it to a very stable, great position later on down the line in life. And she helped you get there. That's what you're going to remember. You know, we've got a very short-term economy in the world now where people want things yesterday. And the looksmaxing community is the embodiment of that. Course selling is the embodiment of that. And nobody wants to build anything sustainable. Nobody's looking at who will I be in 20 years' time and what can I set up. Everyone's looking for short-term sex and all this stuff. And I'm telling you guys some experience. It's not something I'm proud of, but it's just cardio. That's what it turns into. It turns into cardio with 20 seconds of pleasure at the end. It's not very fulfilling, and once you calm your ego down and you realize, actually, this doesn't really mean a lot, she doesn't give me validation, you start seeking something better. And if you're just purely looksmaxing so that you can finally have sex with a woman, or some beautiful girl at school can start looking at you, it's just going to lead nowhere. Now, should you do it? You should probably do it so you can scratch the itch and then sit there and go, do you know what, you were correct. I thought it was everything. I thought the entire world revolved around getting women, and then you'll realize, actually, there's a lot more that I can be doing. Like, it puts things into perspective. Like, I'm doing Ramadan at the moment, and you're hungry every day, but you just appreciate that, like, just the simple act of just being able to eat, sit and have a coffee in the day is massive. And my girlfriend, because she's Muslim, she said to me, in Ramadan, you're going to have to do some charitable work. And it just puts things into perspective. Do you know what I mean? You just start thinking more about others than yourself. And I think that comes with age. So I'm not going to sit here at 33 and belittle you if you're 22 years old and you are obsessed with those things, because I was too. But just a little heads up about what's coming. And the guys that win and always win are the guys that build for the future. So guys, I hope that helped. I hope you enjoyed this different type of video. It's a lot easier for me to make. It shows off the brand. It allows me to make it in real time while I'm doing things that I'd be doing anyway. So let me know if you enjoyed it. It's shorter than me doing the whole vlogs, which I will still be doing, but it allows me to get more content out, help you guys. So let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you all soon. Have a good one.